Hey guys, this is Soren Productions, aka Nana4673, and I am back in Autumn's Journey Part 8. 8 is my lucky number, by the way. I thought about this a lot, and now, people, this might come as a surprise to you. This might actually shock you beyond belief. I've decided that I'm going to go for Kurt. I know, poof, mind explodes. Reasons, I have good reasons and excuses and whatever. First, I'll take this on as a challenge. Let's try to take a character that I dislike a bit. Not as I hate him totally, he's not on the blacklist together with all the total assholes. But he annoys me more than other characters as before. So I will try to play his route. Besides, the people who begin as jerks kind of turns into pretty good people once you get a romance with them. They kind of, I don't know, I just think the romance and those kind of people's routes are so good. So, yeah, and so that's kind of it. And also a little punishment because I ate too much sweet stuff in this week. So that will be a good thing, right? Alright, we're going Kerr. I'm sorry, Ilmari, but I've never really been that happy with the really cute ones. I'm sorry. Sorry. I still led up to Kerr. Surprisingly, he didn't flinch or increase the distance between us. Someone looked happy. I thought this journey would be boring, but it might not be so dull after all. Not that I want to prolong it more than necessary. My prime concern is still getting to the next altar. We know. Right. But we made a pretty good team, if I do say so myself. You fight quite well in that form. You're not half bad yourself. Compliment, oh my god. Although, your punch could use more work. I'll stick to my sword, thank you very much. I'll entrust the hand-to-hand combat to you. Speaking of which, is your hand okay? And he is concerned, oh my god. See, you just need to get to know him a bit, I think. Huh? I was still subconsciously rubbing it and subsequently stopped to reassure him that I was unharmed. I'm good, I'm just not used to it. I smoked Riley. Thanks for caring. I wasn't, like you said, just leave the unarmed combat to me. It's starting to sound like we'll be traveling together even longer. Only if you continue to be helpful. I can still find someone else if I want to. And I wouldn't mind if you did. Grumbled and walked faster, but I did appreciate his concern. In a few days we would arrive in Oliver. I adjusted my back and thought about the letter, eager to reach the guild. We're gonna lose the letter, aren't we? New chapter already? Really? I wanna be a knight! Oh, do you really? Halt! State your business. Cargo delivery from Merchant Ventures. I half expected some questioning, but the name seemed to carry enough weight that the guard simply nodded and ordered the gates to be raised. While that was happening, I approached the client, who gave me a small pouch of coins. As per our agreement. I grinned and accepted the payment, resting the urge to check. Was it rude if you counted the money in front of your client? The heaviness seemed appropriate as my fingers gripped the back. Thank you, and I'm glad you arrived safely. Take care. The carriage rolled away, and I noticed Colonel Mary was standing around gawking at the fixed city walls. Well, then, shall we get going? They broke out of their trance, and Ilmary's eyes shone radiantly, while Kerr tried to hide his stupefaction. Please try to stay with me, no wandering off. I tucked the pouch into my belt, and they quietly followed, soaking in the sights as we entered the city. At first we strolled easily through the wide streets, which had many carts and carriages passing by. Eventually the crowds thickened, forcing us to slow down. I could see the two dragons getting a few curious stares, but everyone seemed to be too busy with their own schedules to pay real attention. No, those were more than passing glances. If it was more unusual. No more than passing. If it was more unusual, I'm sure people would have stopped and commented. It was then I spotted one person with ears similar to Cass, so it was true that there was more dragonkind here. At the plaza, there was a large platform with carnival feats on display. A fire eater launched a flame, and the crowd awed and appalled. Accordingly, wait, I didn't know Heavenkind could breathe fire. What is this trickery? How does this work? Can anyone learn it? It's an illusion. It only appears like that because he extinguishes it at right times. Come on this way. As we zigzagged, Mary abruptly stopped and I nearly bumped into him. Mary? He had found a glass flowing shop with an open front, and one of the artists was molding a transparent blue bubble through a tube. Suspended all around the store were glass-blown ornaments below, rainbows, vases sparkled in the sunlight. Mary gasped in wonderment. That's I can't pronounce that word. How are they able to create something so beautiful? There are so many colors. He took a step forward, but I quickly pulled his braid. His braid! Ow! Then uncovered his hair because he was darting towards the pastry shop. We'll never get to the Argent Valor Guild at this rate. Come on. But I want to see. They have apple tarts. We can check the glass shop later, and you'll get cavities if you keep eating those. Enough dilly-dallying. We have somewhere to go, and I want to get there now. I released them both, and after they promised that they wouldn't run off, and made sure they stayed close. Fortunately, the guild was located in quite a part of town between the church and public gardens. Kerr looked quizzically up at the headquarters, which proudly displayed an embossed sign. That doesn't look like an altar. Sorry, this is just a small side trip, promise. I clapped my hands together and gave a small bow, closing my eyes. There's something I really need to do first. I'd love to have you come with me, but they probably don't allow just anyone. So can you two please not wander off? I'll treat you all to glass shops and apple tarts after. You want after. Promise. Fine. I sighed, but was relieved that at least one of them was obedient. Besides, if there are dragonkind here, you might attract. Even if there are dragonkind here, you might attract too much attention. I won't be there to protect you if something bad happens. Don't worry about us. We'll be over there. He pointed to the garden, which consisted of shady trees and benches scattered around pretty flower beds. Thank you. There are so many backgrounds. I fished out the letter and eagerly entered the building. Inside, everything seemed more normal than I had anticipated. It reminded me of the lobby of an inn or some shop. There was a large board with various scribbled reports pinned to the cork. A few knights with authentic-looking badges walked by, giving me only a passing glance. I approached who I assumed was the receptionist. This is Argent Valley headquarters, right? Right. I have a letter advocating me for the title of knight. Do you simply join if you fulfill some requirements, or how does this work? First, what academy did you graduate from? I was homeschooled. She shook her head and I started to get anxious and pushed the letter onto the counter. At least read this. Lady Bayard. Lady Bayard! Yes, I'm her daughter. She personally trained me so I could officially join the Knights and serve under the Sun and Moon Council. She ripped open the letter and read it eagerly, like it was addressed to a fan from an admired celebrity. Her eyes started down and she looked up with a peculiar expression. Her credentials titles are longer than I know. You must have a lot of potential if you're Bayard's daughter. Sadly, we no longer accept people who are merely trained under one person. What? She flashed me an apologetic smile. I'm sorry, so sorry, but rules are rules, and as much as I admire your mother, new protocols have been recently implemented, and they are to be followed. If you want, I could look for opening at the Oliver Knight Academy. Her voice droned on, but I could no longer register anything. I could only stand there numbly and nod. All my training for nothing. Can't be. Things suddenly get really sad. Aurelie, are you okay? I was not sure what had happened, but I had somehow managed to make my way to one of the benches outside. I was curled up with my head nestled in my knees, not responding to any of Ilmary's pleas. So did it work out? Care? What? I'm just asking if it worked out. Obviously not! Embarrassed and eyes teary, I glanced up to see what the other two were doing. Ilmary was hovering on me fretfully like he was trying to figure out how the shoe was spied out of the kitchen. Care was on the other hand, gave me a stern look that said he regarded me to the status of dirt under his shoe. And I didn't care. It's all over. All over. What does one do to reassure a heavenkind? I tilted over, letting my curled body rest against the bench. They usually take him or her out to the pub so they can drown in their sorrows. What's a pub? Is it a type of lake? I don't want anyone to drown. My chest and shoulders shuddered from half hiccups up and laugh. Oh, those two. I sat up and wiped my eyes. I'm fine. It'll take a while to recover, that's all. As long as you can take me to the next altar, I'm good. Okay, I'm good. I scowled and shut up, staring him in the eye. I wanted to become a knight, so I would be able to help you better. I still have no idea what those are, and I don't care. Don't care? You've already delayed us enough with your fiasco. Punch him! Punch him! Punch him! And you are not the one who kept telling us to wander off. Hey, rocks for brains, a precious little girl's just sort of shattered into a million pieces. Excuse me if I don't feel like... guiding you to the next altar right now. This is pathetic. I bet I could find someone else who would be better. More willing to... Quiet, both of you! There was a something snarl at the end of Ilmary's sentence, and both of us immediately stopped arguing. I blinked blankly and sat down on the bench, surprised that Ilmary could express such fear if he decided. The flare vanished, and soon he was his usual calm self, but with a considerate yet stern edge to his voice. This obviously isn't getting us anywhere. We're leaving. I am leaving. That fucking asshole. It was all his fault. He's a fucking retard. Ilmary, say something. Aurelie, I know this meant a lot to you, but we also can't forget the original reason for being here. I'm helping you people. I'm helping you. Care, ease off. Let's not fight, especially when we'll be working together to get your form back. He softened and leaned so he was on eye level with me. Aurelie, can you still help, knight or not? It's only a title, right? You've already done so much for us. You're like a knight already. For some reason that caused me to smile, and I chuckled lightly at his attempt to cheer me up. Yeah, I can still help. I stood back up. You can be cool sometimes, Ilmary, and mature. He pouted and folded his arms. I'm pretty sure I'm the oldest one here. Kerr and I exchanged surprised glances, since I had definitely pegged Ilmary as the baby of the group. Do we both feel like we can talk in an amicable manner again? I nodded after a moment of hesitation. Kerr shrugged, but didn't fight back. Shrugged. Oh, I forgot the letter, although I don't see any point in going back right now. Maybe I should just listen to the alternatives. It wasn't like I was getting completely rejected. It's my fault for relying too much on my mother's name anyway. At the moment, someone ran up to us, clutching the letter. He carried an air of formality, and I instantly recognized his uniform as rank as the captain of the guard. I gasped, but quickly regained my composure. Excuse me, but is this your letter? I merely nodded. Yes, how did you know? Well, I asked the receptionist about this, and she said a young lady took it rather hard that she didn't get accepted. Fuck. Shit, sorry, give me a second. I have to end the episode anyways. See you in the next one. Bye.